live from Maroney Stadium. John Toot along with Eric Scatamacchia and Mark Corey. Thank you for listening, and thanks to Chris Brennan running things back in the studio. Student Union. Let's get back to UCONN's big question marks. Mark, bit of a work in progress at both goal and in the defensive backfield.
Well, yeah, especially the goalkeeping situation. There's obviously the ongoing competition, as you mentioned, John, between redshirt junior Jacob Wagmeister and junior college transfer Tristan Henry. Henry played 2 seasons at Herkimer County Community College and helped them win back-to-back NJCAA championships last year, just allowing 4 goals the whole season. Henry played the majority of the Huskies' 2 preseason games. He allowed 1 goal and saved 2 shots. All of that came in the exhibition tie against Boston College. But getting the first crack at the starting job this year is Jacob Wagmeister. He started the game Friday night against Coastal Carolina, had 5 saves, but allowed 3 second-half goals in the 3-2 loss. So he's looking to shake off those first-game jitters and get back to the level he was at when he made 2 spot starts when Andre Blake went down with injury last year. In those 2 games he started, both were shutout victories. He's looking to get back to that tonight.
Sultry night. The crowd will not be as large as it was for the Coastal game, even though that game went head-to-head with the football game, and they had almost 5,000 for the BC exhibition, but people kind of straggling in at the last moment. Looks like we're going to have about 2,000 to 3,000 here anyway. UConn lineup: Wagmeister in the nets, defensive back 4, Awuah, Campbell, Ackroyd, and Nowinski. Midfielders: Besso, Marco, second-team All-American a year ago, joined by Shet Coley, Greenberg, and Sabalo, who was a defensive stalwart a year ago, trying him to be a little bit more adventurous in the middle. Laren up front along with Vanacore Decker. There's the whistle, and we are underway here at Maroney Stadium. As usual, reloading more than recruiting, though.
And as you mentioned with Shaq, there's not even a player bio for him up yet on the website, so as of now, the man from Senegal remains an international man of mystery.
Decker, one of several Huskies wearing the neon lime cleats. So if we have a power failure, we're all set. Those things are glow in the dark. Going 3-on-3, deep into the right corner for Oahu. Squares up. Left forward of the box, goes to the end line, crossing pass, off the crossbar by Laren. They're trying for a follow-up shot, and I think they're going to roll it a goal. It looked like it got a lot of net as well, and it had to have been a ruling that it went over the goal line on the quick carom straight down. So Laren, now with 2 goals, and his 16th career goal, 1-0 UConn at 37-37 remaining in the first half.
And that attack was started by Laren. He got the ball probably about 30 yards from goal, just back to goal. Was able to find Awuah on the outside with a nice through ball. Ran into the box and was able to get the connection on the cross.
Awuah definitely deserves credit for that goal. And that's a little bit more than straight down, obviously. Over the goal line, off the crossbar.
Of course, in international competition, they now have that goal line technology, so good call by the ref of spotting that on the fly.
There's several hundred UConn students that could have made that call. They were more than willing to help out the referee on that one.
To answer your point, I would say in the first 20 minutes, I'd probably say, despite the goal that Stony Brook's had, some of the best possession amongst both the teams. They're clearly willing to go forward. Aren't just going to sit back and let UConn control the possession the entire game.
Having said that, on paper, this is a game UConn needs. We've got tough games coming up. Top 20 teams, Wake Forest and the University of Washington. UConn in white going to the goal or left, north. Zuniga through ball, and getting in there is Awuah on the shot on the goal, and it hits the crossbar and bounces on one hop into the goal patrol to our left.
Goal kick.
A great run there by Awuah and an equally great through ball by Zuniga. Too bad Awuah just couldn't finish it.
Awuah was able to deke out the defender Fritz, faking behind him and then cutting in front of him to get probably UConn's best opportunity. That was even a better chance than the Laren goal earlier.
Andre Besso Marco out of Spain. And if you haven't seen him play, he's one of the main attractions. The guy has spectacular technical ability, and he can leave the lingerie on the lawn, that's for sure.
Yeah, I catch myself smiling sometimes at just seeing him work through an opposing team as he is doing whatever he wants against the Seawolves tonight.
Here comes Laren looking for a second. Lefty shot, blocked, rebound loose. Zuniga goes for it. He has it. Open net, shot, loose. Decker can't put it away. Out to the 18. Ground ball shot off of Laren over the end line and a goal kick. No, they're sticking around. It's going to be a corner kick. Frantic action in front of the UCONN net.
UCONN checking into the game for the
Footed three-step approach. It's on its way. Loose at the 6. The shot is blocked. Follow-up, score! Brilliant goal, 2-0 UCONN on the first career goal for Stony. He had about 4 feet of space, left post, and rocketed it at home, and it's 2-0 UCONN.
So Sheck misses in the first chance. He had a fairly open net and rocketed it straight at McMahon from the 6-yard box, and then makes the significantly tougher shot as he was going away from the goal. Kicks it almost sideways, almost a bicycle kick, and it deflects off the redshirt freshman man in goal for the second UCONN goal with 5 minutes left to play here in the first.
Both teams have come back out. What are we looking for here in the second half? Connecticut may have gotten off to a slow start, but then really dominating proceedings with a 9-2 advantage on shots.
I think UConn should look to continue their momentum that they built up towards the end of that first half, getting the ball wide and sending in crosses, really building up the attack slowly through a lot of possession, knocking the ball around with Besso obviously leading that, orchestrating the attack, and just continue the solid defending, not allowing Wagmeister to just sit back, not have too much work.
And then for Stony Brook, you got to guess that they got to come out with the same energy they came out in the first half right off the bat, especially against a fantastic, talented team like Connecticut. It's going to be tougher as the game gets later to score, so going to want to try and jump on them right away, look for a scoring opportunity to get one on the board and get back in this game as quick as possible.
I thought they were giving Vance the advantage because he was going to move in for a shot, and they were going to hold off on the whistle just to not penalize the offense.
It was actually called a handball because after the tussle, Vance grabbed the ball with his hands and picked it up, and the ref was clearly was not happy with that illegal maneuver.
They've played a bit more conservative this half as Stony Brook has done a really nice job of keeping possession around the midfield, but once again, once they get into that final third, the UConn defense turns up the pressure and has prevented them from having great opportunities. They've had a couple shots that have skied way high, but on the offensive end, the Huskies are picking their moments and looking mostly for crosses. Kyle Laren's had a couple of nice opportunities, once with a shot, once with the header, most recently with the header. And a little bit more conservative, but still a solid effort by the Huskies thus far this half.
Trainers, 2 of them along with Ray Reed all the way out on the field, as Greenberg looking okay as he walks back. Might be seeing birds fly around his cranium, but he's walking back to the bench on his own power.
It looks like Coach Reed waved away the substitution. Appears that Greenberg might be able to come right back into action.
Yeah, he's rubbing the top of his head and even pouring some of the water bottle on top of his head. Played forward, the sleeveless one, Duval, manhandled by Campbell, no whistle. Duval, no physical match for Campbell, who's probably got about 6 inches and 50 pounds on him.
Yeah, if you're Duval, you just kind of got to shrug your shoulders. There's no chance you're going to win a 50-50 ball with Sergio Campbell.
25-30 to go in the second half. Connecticut seemingly in command, but they did lead 2-0 in the second half against Coastal Carolina in the opener.
According to the rosters, Campbell has 62 pounds on him.
Wow. Now it's Matheson, feeds a right wing, but too strong. But it's salvaged in the right corner by Nerwinski. Lets a man slide past him. Here comes Jake, border of the box, looking to better his angle. Back outside for Adria. Chips set right down. Shot on goal, off the post. DeGrassa robbed by the woodwork, out of bounds for a goal kick.
Second time UConn hit the post this game. Very nice shot by DeGrassa. Just a little unlucky.
Once again, set up by Besso Marco, who is able to lob that one in. Matheson controlled it and put it right where DeGrasse wanted it. And that one just took off a bit at the end to hit the crossbar, but a great opportunity by the Huskies.
Matheson's always looking like he's got to get a goal or he's going to have his house foreclosed upon. That guy plays with a desperation and urgency that's fantastic. Zuniga off the chest, and now it's up to Decker. Shot on goal. Score! 3-0 UConn. Ethan Vanagoy Decker, his first of the year. And that was Stony Brook getting caught with their pants down. Too many players pushed up after a series of corner kicks. UConn goes long and over their heads for the goal.
Build-up started with Orlando Matheson skying for the header. Was able to flick it onto Nick Zuniga. Just needed a couple touches, laid it off to Ethan Decker, who was able to chip it over the keeper. A beautiful goal for the Huskies.
And just a beautiful little chip through ball by Zuniga there, who's just been all over the place on both sides of the field. Finally gets rewarded for his effort, as Decker's not going to have many goals easier than that, as he was set up beautifully, and was able to chip that over the keeper. UConn, of course, still does a very good job of recruiting inside Connecticut. That's what really rose them to prominence in the late 70s, early 80s, including that national championship team in 1981.
A lot of them developed in Joe Maroney's Mansfield Soccer League and ended up playing first at E.O. Smith and then for the national champs.
Affectionately dubbed America's team. The beauty of Matheson with the ball. You never know when it's going to be rocketed towards the goal.
What a nightmare if he's starting to feel a little fatigue as a defender and he comes off the bench. It wasn't enough to defend Kyle Aaron, now I got the Tasmanian Devil to defend.
Certainly a luxury for UConn to have a player of his caliber.
Down to 5 seconds to go. Bounces back for East Van Conyo, and now we'll do a Ray Reed going up and shaking hands in front of the scorers table with Coach Ryan Anatol, who had his background in South Florida. Connecticut wins it tonight comfortably, 3-0. Final thoughts here as UConn back on the beam as they needed to, with a couple of demanding top 20 games on the horizon.
I would say it was definitely a solid performance from the Huskies. Good to see them get back to their winning ways. A lot of positives in the attack, I think. Zuniga off the bench gave UConn a lot of great chances, creating and a few chances for himself. I just think that it's going to take a little more time for the young players to work in, especially on the defense, for UConn to reach their peak. It's definitely a good building block leading into the tough two-game stretch.
In final shots, it was UConn 14, Stony Brook 11, which means Seawolves actually had a 9-5 shot advantage in the second half. Something to worry about?
I don't think so. I think that UConn's trying some things out defensively. It seems like they were a little bit more of a bend, don't break mentality, because from 18 yards and in, they totally shut it down inside the box. Possession is, something to worry about a little, as a young Stony Brook team was able to control especially the second half possession, but UConn was able to hang tough, pick their moments on offense, get some really good chance in the counterattack. And, a team like Stony Brook allows you to work on some of those things like that, and things they're probably trying to work on before this Friday night as they travel to Wake Forest.